All right, let's go. So, day number 14. And today I want to talk a little bit about mindset. And that's because right now, for example, it's very relevant, even for me and even for a friend that I was chatting with earlier. And that's because, as we know, emotions can fluctuate, right? They go up when you win, they go down when you lose, and so on. And of course, I'll go in a second here, or in a minute, in a few minutes to be more precise, in the ad account here to show you exactly how it's going with the paid ads, a few things that I've actually changed. And from what I'm seeing today, there are actually free leads. I'm pretty sure they are, let's say, lower quality, pardon me, lower quality leads. And fortunately, I do have their Instagram. So I can follow up there and not be on a call because this is what I want to touch on. Right now, I did have a call with someone I chatted on LinkedIn. I had a call booked and they didn't show. So this is actually the second time they didn't show. And of course, they might be busy, right? They might really have too much work to do. They might have life happening to them, right? But I still had that in my calendar, right? I was ready. I was prepared. I had here some notes and so on, right? So the thing is that these type of moments like get you down. It's basically just like getting rejected, right? You don't have the best emotion right away. And I would say, fortunately, I got over it. So that was like 13 minutes ago. But it's definitely not something enjoyable, right? And that's why I was mentioning that even earlier, I was talking with someone who doesn't really like calling and she still calls, right? Like that's her job to some extent because it's prospecting. Just like with myself and anyone else, we do have to get in contact with new people, talk with them, get to know their business if we're in the B2B world and so on, right? But as we know, we're not always in the best mood, even though ideally we do try to be, because let's be honest, we know that the the best version of ourselves, if we show up consistently, will eventually have success, right? Because if you do outreach without giving a F about the fact that you're not getting a response and so on, right? It's just about doing the boring thing, even if you're not rewarded right away, right? It's just like with Steph Curry, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, all of them were really good, are really good in some cases, like with Curry and LeBron, because they did so much of the boring work when no one was looking. And if you think of Curry and see his percentages with the 3 point shooting, right? So when you shoot from far away from the basket, it's high. It's like, let's say he made, I don't have a number, so let's just throw as an example 1,000, right? Maybe he made 1,000 in his career. He made more than that for sure, but let's say he made 1,000, right? The fact is, he probably made 1,000 just in one day while practicing, while no one was watching, right? So this is where some of us forget how much work it actually takes in order to become really, really good at something, and even manage your emotions, right? Because like if you get no shows a couple of times, at one point it's like, all right, I don't even care. I still have other things to do, right? That's what I was doing earlier. I was doing some work here in Slack and so on, because that person didn't show up. So this happens, and it's actually ideal to think of it that way. The fact that it's not all in your control, right? But your emotions, especially after, let's say, that first couple of seconds or maybe 1 to a couple of minutes after that, you can definitely have more control, because it's about what you think. It's your psychology. Do you think about the next thing, or you're still trying to ponder about what happened, right? So mindset is definitely one of the most important things, and that's actually something that I focused on from the beginning. But you never get to a point where you're at the max level, right? 100 out of 100, because it depends on so many factors. For example, if you if you didn't eat and you're hungry, like you won't be your best self. So it's always ideal to make sure all the pieces are there. And then, yeah, after you are, let's say, physically, mentally, and all of the other things stable, then that's when you can really focus on your goals and actually increase the likelihood of achieving them. Because today, actually, I will probably start DMing the leads on Instagram, because I won't be scheduling any call unless I know 120% that they will show up. Of course, it won't happen all the time, but I'm just saying that ideally you do come up with this mindset. If you know someone is not likely to show up, what can you do? Well, you can message them through email, through phone, and so on, right? Because you also show that you value your time, and that other person will also value your time just as much as you do. Because if you don't value your time, no one else around you will. So, with that, let's go over the stats here for the metrics, right? That's how we call them here in the B2B world. So let's go over the stats. My bad. I'm thinking too much of video games, I guess, which I don't even play anymore. So let's look over the metrics and let's switch the camera. All right, so we are in the ad account. Let me show you what I've been cooking recently. So if you look at the metrics log, so let me zoom in here just so you can better see the numbers. So yesterday, as you can see, we had basically 6 clicks and 1 lead, which is nice because 2 days ago we had 1 click, which was $51, and 1 lead. So getting better. As you can see, even the spend went higher, which is fine. Overall, how much did we spend? 543. So I would say that's all right for now. We're also getting data. And if we go into the ad account, so yesterday we did have 1 lead here from this campaign, and let me show you why we have 2 campaigns right now. So what I've done here, let me move this. This is a cost cap campaign. So basically here I have all the other ad sets that were running before, but I duplicated them and I put here, if you go to edit, you will see, let's go, we should have it here. Let me see. All right, we should have a cost per lead. Not sure why we don't have. Let me double check. It might not be actually set. Yeah, so actually it should be a 15 cost per result goal here. As you can see, it's not. Let me just double check, because if it's not, then my bad, we're doing this live. So all right, if we don't have, then what we do here is go to edit, and then we put a cost per result of, let's say, 10. So if it won't get a cost per result of 10, in theory, it won't actually spend. So as you can see, we don't have the publish button here. It's grayed out. I have no idea why. Let me actually see. It's possible that one of these just won't accept that. So let's see, because it should. All right, so yeah, as you can see, I can set the cost to 10, and 10 is very low, honestly. So we'll have to see. And I believe, yeah, we couldn't do it because some of these ad sets wouldn't allow us. So yeah, that's the main reason. All right, so let's see which ones give us. So this one allows us to have a cost per result of 10, and probably same with the last one. So these are the things that you have to do on a consistent basis to improve what you're doing. And yeah, let me see. So these are maximize number of conversions and this number of leads. All right, so that's why, because of the performance goal, it's not spending similarly, but doesn't matter as much. We still had 1 Facebook lead here, and actually Instagram, and another 2 here. And as we can see, they are coming from the same ad set. So I think this ad is something that you should try if you believe that it makes sense, because it just seems to work for me too. So It's basically a screenshot from Shopify and then some text. So yeah, this continues to work. So we'll see if anything will beat it, but for now, it's clear that this is a winner, and probably I'll just have to double down on it. For now, I have tested some other ones, such as let's say these ones, which actually I turned off because I don't think they are effective. But yeah, struggling to scale your Shopify ecom store with meta ads, and honestly, I don't think they work, or at least not at this spend, because the data doesn't really lie, right? And I also have one sending to a VSL. So here I have all the ads, and this one is sending. Let me show you where it's sending, because VSL is maybe way too much saying VSL, but it's sending to this landing page where I just say that besides the fact that you see my face, I have a video mentioning that you can get more growth and profit for your ecom brand in 30 days, which is actually real. I think that is easily possible. But let's switch the camera. All right, so we're back. As you've seen, basically always testing new things, and I'm not sure why that cost cap wasn't set at 10. It happens when you are in Facebook Ads Manager, you make a change, but because let's say there was one error, it didn't change. It didn't make all the changes. Basically, as you saw there, you could change the cost per result to two ad sets, but you couldn't do the other two, right? And that was because how they were set up. So that happens, but if you're always playing the game daily, then it's impossible not to get better, right? Just as you can see, changes all the time. And as I mentioned earlier, also focusing on the mindset, because it's probably one of the most important if you think in terms of the entire year. The year has 365 days. Each day has 16 hours. Of course, you don't work all of them, but still you might be working 8 hours, 10 hours, depending on your style of work, even 4 hours, and that adds up. So if it's effective, because your mindset is, better said, you're in the right mindset or in the right headspace, then of course it will be more effective. But that's pretty much all for today. I think we covered enough, especially the mindset part, which is something that I would like to talk more about, but let's stay tactical for now. So with that, we'll end it for today and basically see you tomorrow. Peace. Peace out, actually.